The things you think about when you can't sleep. Man, sometimes, I don't know, I have those nights where I'm just laying in bed and staring at the ceiling. Can't sleep? Get up, train. It's not always pretty, especially when you're tired. Yesterday I had a day when my boss was in town, so I got up super early and I didn't get home until, oh man, it was like 5 o'clock. Long day, they happen. Today's Friday though, hoping for a nice short one. No, I was in bed and I got to thinking, when I was in grade school, 8th grade, I was on the football team and it was Catholic school and we won, or we were in first place. So our championship was held at Northwestern Illinois University, which for a grade schooler, quite a thing when you go to a university and you go in that stadium and you see that AstroTurf for the first time. Now this was back, what was it, 80, hell, I don't even remember, 80 something. AstroTurf was not AstroTurf yet. It was basically outdoor carpeting on concrete. You get tackled on that. So that was interesting. The other thing was, it was inclement weather. So the snow was coming down really bad and it was freezing. Chicago in the wintertime, wind chill factor minus 20 degrees. We're in the stadium. And here's the thing. I'm not a starter. I am the shortest kid on the team. My son has this curse. He's not really much taller than my daughter Della, and he's 12 years old. I was 4'11" as a freshman. I keep telling my son, don't worry about it. You're going to grow out of it. Anyway, we're there, the football team. I'm not starting. I'm with the second string boys on the bench. And you know how these coaches are. When you go to the championships, they take it super serious. And we are killing this team. We are literally ahead by 3, 4, 5 touchdowns. And they're just not going to put the second string in until we're so far ahead that there's no possible way if they put us in for 2 minutes we could lose the game magically. That's how they act. I don't know if we don't have a big enough lead to put those guys in yet. The other team might score 6 touchdowns in 2 minutes because that's how bad we suck. That's what I took from it. We're so awful. We're so terrible that if you put us in, you're going to lose the game. And even though I actually had a couple of return touchdowns on the punt team. I was a returner, and I had some really good when they put me in, I had some good plays. I wasn't bad. I just wasn't good enough to start. I don't know, maybe my coach saw it differently. So, fourth quarter, there's maybe a minute left. And you know how it is when you're sitting on those metal benches, freezing, not moving. We're not warming up. We're not running around. We're just sitting there watching. You're cold. You're freezing your butt off. Everybody else is running around. They're ready to go. And we're just huddled up and just trying to share body warmth, And then the coach is like, all right, boys, we're going to put you in. And now at that point, all of us are like, screw this. We don't even want to be there. We're just praying for this to be over with. And he decides, oh, now you're going to put us in. Oh, man. And they got out there, and I don't even remember. I think we did okay, we ran a couple plays. And it's, I guess our team was so much better than the others. And we just were murdering them. I just don't even remember. I remember getting on the field, and I remember thinking, man, if I get tackled on this, it's really going to hurt. And we had cleats on, we wear cleats for everything, and they show up on the AstroTurf, and cleats are wearing roller skates. That I do remember. I don't know why I think of stuff like that. I think of stupid things from my childhood where that just stuck with me. Sophomore year, I was trying out for the basketball team in high school, and I'm the shortest guy there. Now I can grab the rim with 2 hands. I could jump. I had some hops. White boy could jump, man. I could stand under the basket and without running, jump up and grab the rim. Now, I'm sure tons of people can do that. That's really not that much of an accomplishment. But when you're as short as I am, I had some hops. And I had a beautiful, beautiful jump shot. we were doing our thing. We're shooting free throws, and I'm hitting all of them. I maybe missed one. Out of you just keep shooting them over and over and over again, and the coaches all walk around and they evaluate all the players, and then they have us run drills up and down the court. They just have line everybody up and tell them to go. You either know what you're doing or you don't. And I watch the guys do their cross plays and all that. And I'm like, okay, I got this. I get in there, we do our thing, we run up and down the court. Everything went well. I thought I did really, really good. And then when it came time and they called the names, they picked, 17 people, and I was number 18, so I didn't make the team. And I'm thinking, oh, man. And then, of course, all the rest of the guys that didn't make it, they're all just standing there. And I was just thinking, I was really devastated, but I didn't want to really show any emotion. And as I was walking out, the head coach, the guy that you really, really want to impress, he looked at me and he said, "You did pretty good." He said, "Come back next year when you grow a little." When you grow a little. That just cut me to the bone. Man, what do you say to a kid? If you can't jump high, you can work your legs out. If you can't run fast, you can do sprints. If you don't have agility, you can do agility drills. If you're not strong enough, you can lift weights. How do you grow? How do you force yourself to grow? The one thing I can't control, I could shoot jump shots until my legs fall off, and I would, dude. I had this Steve Kerr jump shot where I'd pop up, jump as high as I could in the air, elevate it over all the other kids, and then let it go right at the top. And it had the beautiful fadeaway, and I cultivated that thing. I was out there shooting in the rain, the snow. Man, that when he told me, "Come back when you're taller," I carried that into my adult life. That stuck with me for 20 plus years. And I don't know, it wasn't until I talked to a therapist and he's like, "You gotta let that go." That's the chip I carried on my shoulder, and I think that kind of explains why I do what I do. But the weird thing is I don't really compete against other people. I mean, yeah, there's people you need to beat. You got to get better numbers than them, that kind of thing. But I don't look at the other lifters as my adversary. I look at me as the adversary. I'm the one that needs to improve. I'm the one that needs to force myself to grow taller. I hated myself. I didn't hate the other players. It was weird. I never once really looked at another person as an obstacle. I looked at myself as the obstacle. I wasn't the one that measured up. I wasn't the one that wasn't good enough. I'm the one that needs to do better. It's funny how our greatest curse can be our biggest asset, when it comes to drive to success, the will to provide, the work harder, that kind of thing. I have that in spades, but it can also be detrimental to, personal relationships and things of that nature. To circle it back, I actually did wind up making the team, and I actually was pretty darn good. I even played at a college level for a couple of years before I blew my knee out. So the boy done good, and it was kind of like that with everything. It takes time, though. That's the moral of the story, is sometimes you just got to have patience and put the work in. I think too often on social media, people want that respect of their peers, and they want to force it, and you can't force it. It's something I compete against me for a reason, because everybody else is irrelevant. No matter what, nobody can lift the weights for me, and it really, at the end of the day, doesn't matter. It's just me in the mirror, you know what I mean? When I'm on that platform, I either make it or I don't, and there's nobody else. There's nobody else in that equation. And I like it like that. At the end of the day, we are just against ourselves. We might be against ourselves, but sometimes if you let other people in, you don't have to be alone. It might be you versus you, but you don't have to do it by yourself. And I think that's where I'm at. And that's pretty darn cool. Hey, if you got anything out of this, you know what to do. I'll see you guys on the battlefield.